And then this is what holds water, called vermiculite. That's really cool. I mean, it expands almost instantly. It'll take some time to get this liquefied. If it tells us it's a naturally occurring mineral mica that has been treated. Okay. So, some people will even start their seeds in just this because it holds the water, but it doesn't flood and drown it. But, it's not saying. So they're both, I guess, some kind of volcanic material, because I know that's what this is, yeah. Volcanic mineral that is heated to treat. Okay. So we're using Mother Nature's ideology of what helps make things grow. Cool. So, the peat is holding the moisture. The perlite is helping to flush the moisture. And this is also holding the moisture. But it doesn't make it where it's not aerating. This is decomposing into the soil that'll actually get like this here. But, yeah, if you mix all that, that would be okay too, but it would still be to the point where if it clumped, you'd lose the roots. But if you do all this, then you know it'll be aerated enough. And you still could use your topsoil that's there. It's just that you can't do it just in that because it suffocates, because it holds on so tight to the water and that. Yep. Okay. We're gonna make up lemongrass seeds and echinacea. So those are going to be your seed pods that you're going to get to take. And then with the horse thing. So, any questions besides just it's all equal parts?
You have a lot more to keep now, so.
I know, but I didn't want to fluff it in front of you because I don't want you getting all over your run.
Okay.
Because I
so
will
you would normally do it like if you had a third each.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, but
and
no.
that's your
Yes, and there's the compost. But then I would also add a little bit of the worm casing because it's an extra fertilizer. But you can't always find it except at Green Zone Festival. Because I've tried calling her to find out if I could buy it by bulk and sell it, and she
attracts the worms.
No, it's the crap of worms.
Oh, the crap of worms. Okay.
It's their leftovers. It's their casings. Like,
how do you know that when they're like? I guess they freeze worms in it and then they know they're pretty good.
Because what they do is they'll take this like this, and with the leaves and the sticks and the other debris, they'll eat that.
Right.
And then what comes out is the good fertilizer for the soil. So anywhere you see under where you could get earthworms growing, the soil is just usually perfect because any of the big pots that I would transplant, there'd be earthworms in the bottom. That's usually a very happy plant.
Right.
So, yeah, it's really kind of cool. Yeah, don't come clean
so how
my
much
street.
Would you add to that?
About a teaspoon or more, not much more. Yeah, because if it was equal parts, just like any manure, you want it to slowly decompose down. You don't want to have a full hit of it because it could put the plant in shock or burn the roots or whichever. But this is so safe a kid could eat it. That's not a problem. But really, that's a good question. I don't know. How much does it take for what? I mean, because you'll need, if you're doing a whole yard, a certain other amount.
22 inches in bottom and sides of teeth rows and plant holes.
Okay, so it's not giving you dimensions.
No. Wonderful.
So I'd say, I think if it's...
Seed their plants in place and cover the soil in 4 to 6 weeks side dress with an eighth of an inch of capacity.
But it's not giving you a square foot or nothing.
No.
As far as with the dill, the fennel, and cilantro. each plant is each root. On a basil, you'll have a bunch of the roots growing down and out. So normally I suggest if you're going to sow them, you sow them in place. You don't try, I mean...
I have the cilantro.
Because, see, if I took this, which is growing mostly in vermiculite,
Yeah.
and I pulled that out and transplanted it, I might have just killed how many. So what I would do is take this pot and all, and just put the dirt around it because there's holes, okay, or just stick it in the soil, and then each one will give its strength and value. It'll fight amongst themselves for the strongest to survive.
Right.
And then that's how you'll get your fennel or your dill. But yeah, each root is the plant. It's not like, anything of this where it stems, yeah, I got the basils. Nobody's had basils for months now because of the cold. Well, I brought those so we can separate them. So all the soil we're making here, you're going to be using and taking.
So those roots on the basil plant are more
I'm going
together
to
at the
get to the
bottom?
basil plant. Right now we're doing, because you were talking roots.
Yeah.
We just did roots. Now tell me all the root plants.
Cilantro.
Go ahead.
Chives
Okay.
and parsley, dill, fennel, and I don't know these names.
And
I think it's like, yeah, like a licorice flavor.
right, you don't like licorice.
Well, my grandma used to make hard candy, and hard candy. But she would, just use like the oil or the flavoring that you buy that comes in a bottle.
Well, because fishermen use the oil as a mosquito repellent. And I had a lecture at the old classroom over off 31st years ago. Nobody told me there were Bully Manor patients who were coming, which is a adult mental facility.
Right.
And this guy was sitting there. He refused to. After every plant I went through, he had it strategically placed out on this piece of paper. I'm like going, he starts doing one of these. Now I know when I rock, it's because I've rocked my whole life. But when you see somebody who's just doing it and they're just so enthralled, I'm like, oh no. And I said, what's the matter? He said, oh, it's measure wear. I'm like, so I went and got the anise oil and said to him, would you smell this? He centered and no thing came out of it. So I swear by the herbs. I live with them because they are a part of a lot that we just don't know about.
Yeah.
I don't want you getting it near you. It's not good to read. But yeah, you'll have to show them. This is what it should look like to grow.
He won't believe me till he sees it.
Pardon me?
He won't believe me till he sees it.
Well, yeah. I don't think my bags are big enough here. Yeah, it's amazing. I used to sit and make this by the big old bucket for big man. This big. I'd have to buy it by the spare. Well, I don't know if there's much room in there, but you can shake, rattle, and roll this. Some you can go up and root up to here, but mostly you can't. That soil line is where it should be at, never always above, because that will rot the root.
Okay.
Put some of your soil in there and have horsetail, shade grass. I'm giving you a couple more pieces, but I was the only one who would grab it.
Should I make it like half full, 3/4 full, or?
I'll show you. You always want to leave at least a pinky tip, like here, in the pot. Because when you water, it'll fill up to where it needs to go and then go down. If you filled it up any more past, you could do it. So if you did any more past that, you wouldn't be able to absorb the water. Well, because as we wet it, it'll actually go up and go back down. You can right now, and I have. So I don't go by rules, I'm just telling you like what the conditions are. And if one is staying wet longer when you think it shouldn't, put more sun to it. Because it is just all a balance of sun, air, water, and then the food. So depending on the kind of plant or the pot.
What I don't know is which one drinks more water. I don't know that.
It's just by watching. Basils will because they're fast, they're annuals, they're going to come up like this, grow, and then go away, because that's an annual.
Right.
A perennial will be a little medium. But like if you cut that, it's going to soak up the water.
Right.
So depending on how and what you're using, what time of day, etc. So a lot of that just occurs to what kind. It's taken me years to figure out what the plants and how much and that, but it's all trial and error because, see, I'll be able to grow stuff you won't be able to grow, but you'll grow stuff I can't grow. And it's just because that's the way things are. Even if the elements are all the same, that's just the way gardening is. But this is as organic as you can really have it, even though I still be cautious about people saying what's organic or not. And you're each going to have some basil. Boy, Jacob, you're going to have fun trying to get this stuff home on the blanket.
I have my milk crates that I can put some stuff in there.
You're going to either do another one with that, or you can take that apart and put them both over to the class. But, see, there's a different way to pot up basil. That's why I had to think the basil. Because most of the things like this and the sage and the chives, they're constantly
I've had to
growing
Yeah.
from the root base. And you don't want to really cover that up. But that doesn't mean we can't take a cutting, which we're going to do too, take a cutting and root it.
Okay.
So you can put some soil in these too. Or, see how each one is its crown and
Yes.
that the
And
root
that's how that
is
deal
in
is.
there. You always keep the center 3 leaves growing. Never just trim up, because its activation for its living is through 3 of the center seeds of the parsley leaves. So never cut at least 3 of the center leaves. Right. Always trim out here. Because
But you don't trim from the base at all, then,
no,
really?
no, because you would destroy the plant. That's its habitat of how it lives.
Okay.
Okay. But this one you could, because it grows up
From the
from.
bottom.
Yeah, there's all kinds of different avenues of how these plants like to exist. Boy, that smells good, whatever it was. And now, like on a thyme, this will root itself just by it being somewhere, but it'll also just grow like this. And on the harvest,
Some of that.
and on the harvesting, you're always going to just take the outer cut, because it'll continually grow from the base and the stems, the nodes. See, if I cut it here, these are going to get big like these are here at this end. So if I cut it here, like this, that means that these little ones here that are growing where the leaves were will become big like that. Smell it, man, smell it!
Mine gets really, I want to say, like, wiry.
Right, because it just needs to be trimmed.
Is that what it is?
No.
But it's like wiry from the base there. So where do you trim it